Alright guys, welcome back to the Regal Gentleman Studios. Today we've got Marc in the chair. How are you, mate?
I'm good, how are you?
You're good? I'm very well, mate. I'm very well, thank you. So, what's the plan? What are we doing today?
So, I've had longer hairstyle for a while now, a couple of years. And
Okay.
I don't want to go short either, so I was thinking maybe about like half of what I have right now.
Okay, and how are you looking to wear your hair though? What type of style do you want to go into?
My hair always tends to fall forward anyway, so I would like to have the option to just let it fall.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, cool.
But maybe also be able to push it back a little bit, maybe for work or something like that.
Right, okay. Let's look at the, first of all, let's look at the height of your forehead. Okay, so what we need to discuss first is the length of the fringe, all right? I think you'll be okay to do both. I think you might, do you wear product in your hair at all?
Sometimes I do some volume spray or something like that.
Okay. Because it'll be a lot easier when it goes a bit shorter. Just in case because I imagine a product will be quite hard to wear in your hair at the moment because of of the style you've got. You've got very long layers all the way through it. The only thing with the fringe is you've got to look at the length. So we pull it down from the center. And you could have I'd probably have your fringe sitting maybe just on your eyebrows, for example, right? So that's how much length you'd be taking off.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Just as an idea, you know what I mean? So it's almost just over half, okay? But what that'll do, that will allow you to fall and keep it on your face if you need to, because if it falls forward, go with it, right? But then it'll give you the option to bring your hair back with a bit of product in as well. So it might be more forwards without product in, but then maybe if you want to, I don't know if you're going to be able to actually pull it right back, but you might be able to pull it to the side, and then with a bit of product as well. And as it grows out, then you can explore other avenues that way as well, So the top is kind of, I know where we're going with the top.
Okay, good.
It's mainly just cutting it into the right length, then texturizing it for you. But with the back and sides, what do you want to do? Because obviously at the moment you've got very long sides. The back is a bit shorter here. What do you want to do? How do you want that to sit? Do you want that off the ears? Do you want that still over the ears? What are you thinking?
Maybe getting a little shorter as it goes back, so it goes over the ears. And, sort of steps. I don't know how to say that.
Like a graduation, like it goes shorter towards the bottom, for example. Okay. Do you know how, would you like it to be like? So what about if we did it maybe so you can still put product in your hair, so you've still got length that you can still see moves around on the side, so it kind of balances in with the top at the same time, yeah?
That's exactly
all right, cool. Do you want it to be neat around the ears and on the neck, or do you still want it to be quite natural around the bottom?
Natural,
okay, sound. But I think if we were to keep it, maybe so it sat just on the ear, would be nice. But obviously you got a lot longer as it got to the top, so we could balance in with the top as well. But I think if you're going for something more natural, maybe we'll just use like the razor around the edges to kind of make it look as though you can tell you've had a haircut. You'll know you've had a haircut, but it doesn't look like it's perfectly lined down. There's a sharp line anywhere like that. We'll just keep it looking very natural for you. I think that'll be a good look for you. And then we can leave more length on the top then as well if we want to. It gives us an option. All right.
Sounds great.
Cool, man. That's all I need from you, mate. Should we get you gowned up? Yeah?
Thanks.
Cool. So, Marc, what's the reason for the change?
Well, it gets annoying sometimes, when I work out or something like that, it always falls into my eyes. And I like the long hair, I like the style, the way it looks, like if you're on vacation or something like that. But I don't know, I can always throw it back out if I miss it. But
of course. Good attitude to have. It's good. When you're changing it around like you are now, is having that attitude like, well, it'll grow back out. You'll be a lot more open to things as well. But it will be a shorter haircut, obviously, because the shape of this haircut is the back is quite short. Everywhere else is really long layers, so it will feel short to you. That's the thing. But it will be a much more manageable style, without a doubt. But I know what you mean. I think when you just said then, that's quite a really interesting point actually. When you said about being on holiday, you don't mind it. Do you think that's because your mindset's differently? Do you think that's because you're just on holiday and you're not having to go to work and all that sort of stuff? Yeah.
I traveled quite a lot last year, so my hair got really long actually. And,
did it?
Now I'm back to work, 9 to 5. So
what a shame, hey? What a shame.
Yeah. But I'm here now, so
that's it, man. Yeah, you know, man. Yeah, that is true. So I'm just wetting this down. I'll tell you why I'm wetting it down in case no one's seen any of our other videos. We are now inside our new studios, which we will be launching very soon. But we will be washing the hair first from the videos moving forwards when the store is open. But we can't do it right now because we're doing our snagging process, which is, if anyone doesn't know what snagging is, it means just checking for problems before we open. And we have a leak. That's why we can't use the sink. So that's why I haven't wet it down. But we did have every intention of shampooing and conditioning and all that as well. But unfortunately, we don't have that facility right now. I've noticed a lot of people now they've grown the hair out. It's like a lot of them are opt them for like salt sprays because they want to still have that feeling of when they were away. And I don't know if that's because they were locked down for so long with COVID that they're still having that memory of being on a beach or whatever. But loads of guys who've got long hair are all getting salt sprays for the reason of the beach more than the reason a salt spray gives a lot of the time.
That's
If you know what I mean? Yeah. Okay.
At home.
There we go.
I don't use it that often, but sometimes it brings me back.
Yeah, it exactly takes you back, doesn't it? Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah, definitely. So guys, I'm gonna start off by cutting the back and sides first because we need to put the shape in. We need to find the length that we're going to work with on the back and sides, and then we can just bring the top into that as well. So I'm going to start off with a horseshoe section. This is going to allow me to separate the back and sides from the top, and also start to create the shape for Marc's face as well. So I'm going to have a little look at Marc's face shape in a second, and just give him maybe something that Marc hasn't seen before, but just maybe give him a little bit of an understanding of what haircuts work for him or where the length needs to be kept. I would say your face is very square. That's what I'd say. I thought it might have been a bit oval, but after the comb, I think you've got quite a square face shape. So it's good. It's good. All I'd say for that is just keep more length in your hair, and that'll be the optimum sort of look for you. All right. Going to take sections, 2 fingers in width, because we're still leaving some length in there as well. So 2 fingers from there, like so, from the hairline. Don't take that much off. Let me see that otherwise. I'm actually going to take a tiny bit more off. Just a tiny bit more. By just taking that little bit off and just leaving that little bit more length around the ear, I can actually texturize the perimeter, which will make it look really natural. If it went too short, it would look a bit blocky, I think, down the bottom. So this is just giving me a chance to keep length in the perimeter that I can then point cut into or work with the razor. So how did you come across our channel then, Marc?
I was just looking for ideas for longer hairstyles.
Oh yeah.
I think about a year ago, so I stumbled upon your channel and I liked it.
Oh nice. You've been watching us for a year then, yeah? That's very kind. Thanks, man. Thanks for the support. What was the obviously I know you said like you back to the 9 to 5 and stuff like that. What was that the sort of was the one major reason why you wanted to go shorter, or was it like accumulation of a few different reasons?
Yeah, it's a few different reasons. It's not even that much of the work life. It's just I wanted to change. I had it for a couple of years, and like I said, it sometimes got a little frustrating. Like 30% of the time it would look really cool, and 70% of the time it would look kind of awkward. So,
I was going to say 30% is not a lot, really, is it?
Sometimes when I get a haircut, people don't really notice, and this time I'm pretty sure they will.
Oh yeah, I think they will, mate. I think they'll notice because obviously we're taking a good bit of length off, but the style's going to change around as well. The main thing for me is you being able to manage your hair tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after, and the day after, right? That's what I need to happen. Because it's no good looking good, kind of when you leave here, because the reality is obviously it always looks its best when you leave the shop, without a doubt. I've got a 360-degree view of your hair. I'm a professional in the industry. I've styled hair for 20 years. Obviously it's gonna look good. But if I can show you how I do it, and then you can recreate it, to a good standard, it makes my haircut look better. So I think it's very important that, we're doing a haircut now that is a real achievable haircut for you, or achievable hairstyle for you, should I say, and something that you enjoy doing. That's the main focus. So I think we've got one. I think you've got such a great texture of hair, man. Like I was always jealous of guys with blonde hair when I was growing up. Yeah, because the hair texture is just softer. It's just mine was just so thick and spiky. I used to really not like it. So what work do you do, Marc?
Architecture.
Architecture, yeah.
Yeah, I finished my bachelor last year, and now
I'm
working in an office, and it's pretty cool. It's fun.
If you think about your job, architecture, you could go and work in different cities, still do the same job, and try and create a more work-life balance, couldn't you? You know what I mean? So you could probably still do the architecture, and like say if you went to, I don't know, like a sort of a more developing city which was building up, but it was on the beach, for example. Like if you went to like Middle East or something, you could probably do something really. You do the same job and also do your diving on the weekends or whatever, like, or after work or something.
That's what I was thinking.
It's the dream, man.
Yeah, it's the dream.
It really is. So are you a keen diver then? Is that what you do?
Yeah, when I'm on vacation, I like to. That's also like why I want to have more of a natural hairstyle, more not that strict comb back kind of style, but sort of that surfer look.
Surfer look, yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I like to do everything like that when I'm away on vacation. So that's what I kind of want to have in my day-to-day too.
Sure thing, mate. Yeah, not a problem at all, man.
Cool.
Well, it's all working really well with the length we've kept it at now. And again, with knowing that as well, I'll put a bit more texture in, and I'll obviously the salt spray will do really well with that. And you know what? That's really good because, as I said to you at the start, you know, and I just want everyone to know this on camera, and Mark can validate this. We don't have a chat beforehand. We had a chat, you know. We as we come in, you sat down. I explained the run through of how the channel works, but this is why, like the conversation we just had then, where Mark said about he wants to be. Like he wants that kind of surfer vibe. That wasn't discussed in the consultation. No. But that's why it's so important to talk to your clients, get to know your clients. Because I've now just had a slightly different idea that I was going to do it anyway, but probably not as much, or not give you the option to have it a bit more textured on the front and stuff. I was thinking more like when he came in, he's working a 9 to 5, he went in the office. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I can't go too overboard with the texture. But now he wants that kind of surfer look. I can actually put more texture in that. So I think it's a really important thing to get to know your clients. You know, I've only met Mark half an hour ago, you know, and you know, we've already discussed quite a lot. And it's not like it's intrusive or anything like that. You know, Mark's talking from his own will. I'm not forcing him to answer questions. It's just nice to get to know your client. And I think it's also going to help his haircut today as well by doing this. So I always think it's very important, because I have been to places myself where I've just sat in the chair and not had a single conversation with anybody. And it is, not only is it uncomfortable, as we all know, but, you know, there's things that maybe I want to discuss with my barber that I wanted to do with my hair that we didn't, because I didn't feel comfortable enough to talk to him. Now, I'm not saying everyone should talk, but it definitely helps. And it's definitely helped me and Mark today to discuss, well, the finished look. So hopefully he's going to be even that bit happier now that I can also give him that kind of beachy, surfer sort of vibe as well. So, and he doesn't always have to wear it like that. It can just be something that he emphasises with some salt spray, or even a bit of powder, or sort of clay or something, you know. So I think that's a really valuable thing to do, for me personally anyway. And now I'm going to wet it down slightly, and I'm going to cut the perimeter in a bit as well. Then we're going to add some texture to this as well. I'm going to start off on the right hand side. I'm going to cut this to about there. I'm also going to frame the face slightly as well, so I'll bring this down. And then, if you think like the surfer look, it's sort of shorter at the corners up here as well. It kind of falls into a sort of longer side bin almost, I think, a lot of the time, the ones I've done. I think it looks really nice. It kind of falls in a bit like that. Because then you can still bring that back for a smarter finish, but you can also leave it so you're showing off a bit more length down the bottom as well. It's quite nice. Cut this back a bit, following the natural hairline. Kind of just framing up the back of the head and the sides of the head now, just framing it around, like so. And by leaving that length at the bottom, I've allowed it to still sit over the hairline as well. As you can see, it sits nice and straight. And now I'm going to cut this pretty high up at the neck, so this is what gives that kind of smarter effect, so it's not going to sit on the collar. We can still keep length everywhere else, but this is just a nice balance, because the neckline is quite low anyway, so we can get away with taking that a bit higher up. And again, you know, 9 to 5 office sort of style job, you don't want it sitting too long on the collar. It's always something that makes it look a bit untidy. Let me bring in from the middle to match the side, following the guide from the right hand side. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to sort the neckline out as well. Just trim it down a touch, just these little bits here. Sit a bit smarter. I'll sort of sit a little bit more, a bit better as well. I'm going to work at the razor now. So I'm going to work along the neckline. Just break that up a little bit. So I'm a bit higher up, just to thin that out a little bit more. There we go. I'm going to work through the sides as well. I'm cutting a nice bit of texture in there as well with the razor. There we go. Now, move on to the top. What I do now is want to connect in the top, take the length down. Again, like we were saying before about it sitting just on the front. I think that'll be a nice length for Marc as well. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start by separating the back away from the top, so we're not touching the crown. I'll leave the crown to the end. So we'll start from the back. Remember the length we said at the front. So I think we get best taking off about that much, I would say. That'll still give them room to manoeuvre and room to play around with. And we still connect it in nicely to the sides too. You can see we're just working a shorter layer through the top. Just bring it straight up. I'm not over directing this, we're going to be working straight up into the front. So we'll still bring like a natural over direction to the fringe, because of obviously pulling it straight up, the head curves forwards. We're pulling it straight up, we're leaving that little bit more length at the front. We're just following the guide line from the left hand side, and the guide line we've got from underneath too. Final section now, working through the sides, connect everything in, there we go. Nice thin section so it's nice and seamless. See the angle of my fingers as well, nice and straight. And it folds nicely into the sides as well. Same thing again, working this side now. Now let's put the fringe in. I'm just going to use that little point to connect it into the front, graduate it in. We don't need to leave any more length to the front. Now I'm just going to put the crown in now. So bring everything over, cut it horizontally, so we're still leaving that length at the very part, like top of the crown. There we go. Same again, pull that out. Right, there we go. Now I'm going to dry this off, cut the rest of the crown in, and then add the texture to it. I'm going to start by adding some of the Balmain texturizing sea salt spray. Maybe about, one for good luck, probably about 8 or 9 sprays. Now I'm going to blast this through with my fingers, just on a high heat and high speed. I'm just trying it in different ways. I'm just looking in the mirror, just seeing which way I think will suit them. That's all dried off now. First of all, I'm going to cut the rest of that crown in. Put this up here, but you can have a nice little point. There we go. So we can cut that in because the crown's sitting nice. We can cut that point in. It's not sticking up, see? Sitting nice. We can just start to work, cutting the bits in that we need to. Cut into it, pull it over, cut into it. There we go. Now, texturizing, so through the top first. Straight up, fingers halfway, and go right down. And I'm going to rake up a little bit more. Right, we're removing texture, we're removing thickness, but also adding texture. Now I'm going to switch up the texturizing technique now. Pick it up, halfway, I'm going to slide in like this to create a bigger, chunkier texture in that as well, as you can see. Okay, further down, again, switch the technique up a little bit. We're creating different types of texture through the top here. Same through the sides. Now, as we work through the sides here as well, I need you to bring your head over towards me. I just want to cut into these sides a bit as well. Give a really nice softer finish to the bottom. I know we've put the razor in, but I just want to break it up a tiny bit more. And head down on a touch for me as well. I'm going to work through the back now as well. Into the bottom like that. Keep working up to the top. Taking that blunt edge off it. Look at that, sits really nice and soft. Way through there. So same again the other side now. Nice thick slices like that to really break the thickness at the back, and thinner ones just as we get to the crown and through the top. So put a bit of texture in there as well. I want to take profile guide through the top, nice and sporadic, just cut into little bits that I feel like still look a bit thick, especially as I get into the front, like that. Again, cut on different angles, create a different texture. And again, working horizontally through the top. Looks okay. I'll get into that a little bit. Now, if you lean back for me as well, close your eyes for me now a second. Cut into this fringe here, a little bit thick on this side, so. So what I've done is cut it into like a length that is kind of just all over, a bit shorter, but you can do a few things with it. All right, so you can go for that surfer vibe if you want by just wearing it more forwards and a bit messy and a bit down. You know, imagine you've got the sea or whatever, but you can also part it over if you want to. You can wear it coming back, but I want to put a little bit of styling powder in for you and show you what you can do, if you like. Yeah, please. Cool. Man. Dry the hair off, some salt spray in there, so it's just like, as you can see, there's loads of texture already in there, and then just lift the hair up and just put it at the roots like this. Do that first of all, okay? Even through the sides as well, just work it through the back, under the hair, and then just over the top, okay? And all you do is rub it in like a shampoo, okay? There's loads of texture in this. So the beach, I always think is a bit sort of like that. It's just quite messy, quite textured. I always think of something just quite sort of like skaterish as well, you know, that kind of sort of subculture, surfing, diving, that kind of thing. You can wear it like that, right? But you could also wear it a little bit smarter. So for work, if you're going into the office, you get yourself a vent brush. You could use that cow's lick you've got there as like your little kind of parting if you want to, and you can bring it back and wear it a bit more back if you want to as well. So it looks a little bit smarter. So it all comes down to how you want to style it, you know? You've got a length in there that you could wear, so it's a bit of a smarter finish. Tuck it around the ear and bring it through the back. That's for work, you know, you could wear it like that. It's a bit more casual. Use a brush. So as you can see, you've got a lot more of a smarter finish. Like that.
Nice to have the options.
You've got the options, yeah. I just want to show you the options, right? So you could tuck that behind the ear, and there is your business sort of look, if you say. But that's what you've got. Before on your haircut you came in with, you couldn't have done anything with that really, you know. But it's just a very natural thing. Parting's very natural. So you could always put a harder part if you want to. Go from your cow's lick, and then part it over, so it's just like an off-center parting if you wanted to. Again, the powder's great for that because the powder just allows you to do whatever you want with it, especially for your hair as well, because it's quite thick, but the straightness and the blondness, you need a bit of a matte finish as well. So you could use that and then work it very smart if you wanted to. So that could be an option for you, all right? If you want to have it really smart, comb it through. But then you could also have a casual sort of lift off the front as well if you want to. So get rid of the parting, still have the hair coming back, and just use your fingers and bring it over. So you could have it almost like a business one, but a little bit of fringe falling down like that, hang it over the ears a little bit more, you know. So you could wear it any way you want. I just want to incorporate it being down for you as well. So you could have it a bit more like that if you want to, a little bit more casual. But just show off the texture, you know, let that fringe fall down a bit if you wanted to. So you could have a centre part if you wanted to as well. Just whatever you prefer, whatever you like the look of, you can go for. You know what I mean? I'd say for you today, I'd just wear it really textured. I think it looks great. But again, you can pick, would you like to wear it a bit smarter? Would you like to wear it more textured? Would you like to wear it like this? How would you prefer to wear it today?
Maybe just the first thing we did.
Well, it was like quite, yeah, cool. But as you see, I'm still using the same product. It hasn't changed. Just working it through again to get rid of all the hair from behind the ears and whatever else. And then wear it however you want. I think wearing it down really suits you. I think you suit that look so much. And you can just twist bits around to kind of bring it out. So again, just take your time with it, but I just think it really looks good on you, like that. So there's the back. So it still sits nice. You still got length all over. You can still see you've got longer strands all over. Same through there, so it all falls. Just nice for you. But you, again, like you said, you can wear it however you like. You can have it messier if you want. You can have it a bit more textured. You have it coming down. It's like whatever you prefer you want to do. You've just got a lot of options. I think it really suits you down though. I think you've got a really good face shape for it to be down. You could even do it like this as well. You could even just like kind of brush it up and just leave it to fall if you wanted to. You know what I mean? You've got options that you can do a lot of with. You can still tuck it behind the ears if you want to. You know, it's a good length for your hair texture that you can do so many different things with it. So, yeah.
Yeah, really. Thank you.
That's cool, man. Thank you very much.
Didn't really know exactly where it was going.
Yeah.
So now it's really nice to have the options, and it's really cool.
Definitely. Thanks, man. Thank you very much. I think I like it the way you can still make it really quite smart as well. I think that's always a good option because, when, like you said, if you're in the office, right, you don't want to, you don't want it to look like, you've got a t-shirt on today. This kind of look goes. You know, when you take the gown off, and you see what you're wearing today, it really goes. If you're in the office, wearing it quite messy might not look right. So at least you've got the option to still use the same product, still use a styling powder, but wear it smart. So I think it's nice that you don't have to change the product. You've got one haircut that you can do multiple things with, you know?